In this video, you will learn about the effects of diet and stress on the brain. First, we are going to be talking about the myelin sheath. In the brain, a signal will get sent down a neuron. It enters here at the dendrite. The signal then travels along the axon, which is covered in the myelin sheath. The signal continues to travel down the axon until it reaches the axon terminal, where it binds to the presynaptic terminal, where it will eventually be released into the synapse to produce a signal in order to communicate with other neurons. So we said the myelin sheath covers the axon. Why is this important? Well, the myelin sheath is a fatty substance that insulates the axon and increases the speed of the impulse down the neuron. The myelin sheath is primarily made up of fats and proteins, with DHA, zinc, iron, and B vitamin cofactors, as well as myelin-based protein. Omega-3 is one of the most important fatty acids that makes up the myelin sheath, as it provides DHA for replenishment. Another important thing to remember about the myelin sheath is that it needs to be continuously replenished. This is why it is so important to get enough of the essential nutrients needed for the replenishment of the myelin sheath. If myelin is damaged, it will slow down and delay the signal traveling down the neuron. This can cause cognitive decline, memory lapses, and mood alterations. Damage of the myelin sheath is usually due to microlesions. Microlesions can form when there are dietary deficiencies in omega-3 fatty acids, iron, zinc, and vitamins B6 and B12. Additionally, drug and alcohol abuse can lead to microlesions. One study done on mice showed increased production of myelin-based protein with prolonged abstinence from alcohol. Another longitudinal study found accelerated white matter in the brain of adults who were heavy to moderate drinkers, suggesting demyelination. Now we are going to talk about the brain and how it responds to stress. When the brain first detects signs of danger, a part of your brain called the amygdala sends a distress signal to another part of your brain called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus responds by ordering the release of several hormones from adrenal glands, such as cortisol and epinephrine, which are designed to prepare the rest of the body to deal with the oncoming danger. During this process, a person may feel themselves breathing at a much faster rate, alongside a faster heartbeat and a higher blood sugar. All of these changes throughout the body have one goal: to energize the brain. This extra energy allows for much quicker decision-making. This hyperactive state of the body is known as the fight or flight response. And during the flight or fight response, the body redirects nutrients and resources from other functions, such as your immune system and digestion, in order to maximize decision-making efficiency. However, chronic and prolonged stress means that the body is in a constant state of fight or flight and is constantly redirecting resources to fuel the brain. For instance, fight or flight weakens your immune system, which means that people under stress for long periods of time are more susceptible to infection and sickness. This vulnerability is why stress can cause ulcers to form in the stomach. Stress also influences digestion, and prolonged periods of high stress levels can cause issues with your bowels and your gut microbiome, which can cause gastrointestinal problems such as IBS, diarrhea, and constipation. Finally, since cortisol naturally causes fluctuations in serotonin levels, chronic stress is a major risk factor for anxiety, depression, and other related mental health problems. Inflammation and oxidation stress can also have an impact on the brain. The types of fats consumed dictate the type of inflammation response experienced. Foods high in omega-6 fats, which are found in foods like processed foods and plant oils, will cause an increase in inflammation. Omega-3 oils, which are mostly found in marine fishes, will cause a decrease in inflammation. Inflammation leads to an increase of free radicals in the body. Free radicals can cause heart disease and can damage structures in brain cells, leading to risk of Parkinson's disease or mood disorders. Too many free radicals can then put the body at risk for oxidative stress. This stage can also be indicated as oxidative overload. You may ask yourself, how does this affect the brain? Well, oxidative stress is an imbalance between the production and elimination of free radicals, which makes the brain prone to severe oxidative damage, resulting in abnormal functioning of the brain. Oxidative stress can also induce transgenerational effects on the brain, which is why eating a healthy diet is important. The nutrition intake of the mother dictates the development of the fetus and their reproductive cells. This means that the diet a mother consumes can cause certain genes to be turned on or off in their baby. This epigenetic change in gene expression can increase the risk of the fetus developing a health condition, such as heart disease, fatty liver disease, neurological problems, as well as type 2 diabetes. The study of how diet influences an individual's genetic makeup is referred to as nutrigenomics. Natural nutrigenomic experiments such as the Chinese and Dutch famine showed that pregnant women who went through the famine gave birth to unhealthy infants that grew up developing many chronic diseases. Because the mother did not eat a lot during the famine, the baby was born with genes that were programmed to survive on low food intake. So when the baby grew up in a different environment with a lot of food available, the baby was not able to survive. The famine was also shown to have an impact on successive generations. Children who were born generations after the famine showed higher risk of developing chronic diseases as well. So how exactly does diet impact our brain health? Nutrients from our diet, such as vitamin D, can act as ligands and bind to vitamin D nuclear receptors, or VDR, in the brain. VDR then forms a dimer with RXR, another nuclear receptor, to allow myelin gene expression to occur. If vitamin D is not present in the body, VDR cannot bind to RXR and induce myelin gene expression, which is important for the brain to perform cognitive functions. Iodine is another nutrient important for fetal neurodevelopment. According to a study by Ekstrand and his team, maternal iodine deficiency can lead to major cognitive impairments in the offspring. If iodine is not present in the body, thyroid hormones cannot be synthesized, which can cause demyelination of the brain during fetal development. So what can you do? You can start by changing your diet to help meet your omega-3 fatty acid needs. Consuming at least 2 servings of salmon per week can provide you with the necessary omega-3 to maintain healthy myelin sheath and brain function. Consuming more antioxidants such as blueberries and red grapes can help neutralize free radicals in the body and reduce oxidative stress. And increasing your intake of iodine from sources such as seaweed, shrimp, and other seafood can have a positive transgenerational impact.